AJ here. My story with the Afreda S8 e-trike started back when my mobility really changed, and weakness made it so I wasn't really able to get around, but I really wanted to get back to hiking again so badly. I ended up starting this adaptive archery, which I remember I saw someone shoot an arrow from a bow with their teeth, and it shattered any sense of there being one right way to do things. So I said there's no one right way to hike. Then I started reimagining what hiking means. I started researching. I went to this Abilities Expo, which is all things disability. And I saw this Action Track all-terrain power wheelchair that has tires that look like a tank. But they were like $15,000 for the cheapest one. And I was like, all right, I gotta find something else I can afford. I researched more. I saw stabilizer wheels, but those aren't right for e-bikes. Then I'm looking and I find the Afreda S8, the old model to this one, and I see this amazing, strange innovation. This reverse trike that has a 1-second folding ability and this really unique suspension system where basically one tire can stay 11 inches higher than the other one. So it can actually go over roots and rocks and uneven terrain in a way that someone pushing me in my manual chair with the small little caster wheels in the front getting stuck and I go flying, it's much more treacherous. It was really exciting to me after searching for something that might be able to really sustain stability and support me to find this, my own triked out mobility aid. I remember not having a mobility aid that's right for me at all. Something motorized and not being able to get around to make it to the store, let alone be able to get outdoors, with that social isolation and sense of not belonging. And that's some of the reason that I see the importance of making things actually accessible in a real sense. So I really appreciated that when I reached out to this company, Afreda, about this trike making more access to the outdoors, they responded. And we started speaking about this e-trike's adaptive qualities, and they sent me one in alignment with this idea of exploring it as a sort of aid for people with an array of abilities such as mine, to support access to hiking, cycling, or outdoor recreation. And the S8 has already started meeting this aim. I'm able to hike it all, and I started this All Abilities hiking series. We started small, but it's something. There's really no way for me to say how much all this means to me. So what I mean when I say all abilities hiking is a combination of people with all sorts of abilities where each person is able to make a relationship with nature in whatever way is right for them. And then all of us being in solidarity to support making that happen. That might mean rolling a short distance to simply watch a sunset, and respect for that. Who would come? Everybody. Power and manual wheelchair users, folks who use forearm crutches, more able-bodied folks, elders, people who are blind or low vision, deaf, neurodivergent, or some folks I know from this amputee soccer team, or people with temporary injuries and all those not represented here. Adaptive recreation should be based on one's own realities and any accommodations that are right for each. So that might mean something like the Grit all-terrain manual wheelchair, where you use levers to propel yourself with more strength, or the Freewheel extra third wheel add-on wheelchair attachment. But everybody's different. I, for one, don't have the strength and stamina to propel myself with either of these. So I'm using this Afreda e-trike as my accommodation. Its 500 watt motor and beefed up 750 watt peak motor in the S8 allows me to make it up hills and to be self-propelled for real distances. It has a 50-mile throttle range, so I'm not afraid of being stranded at all. Accessibility in adaptive hiking or other recreation is about more than just one thing. It's about access to places, so ramps, accessible bathrooms, backup support if needed, etc., and being able to get yourself and your equipment to wherever you're going in the first place. So while someone else might use a heavy mobility scooter or recumbent bike, that also might mean using a trailer to transport or room to store it. So for me, being able to fold this e-trike into its small base in 1 second and also fit it into my sedan's truck to make it to a park or nature preserve makes it actually accessible for me. And I got plans for trips. Also, I'm someone who needs backup support. I run out of spoons or energy servings. So the 330-pound weight capacity and back seat means I'm able to ride with somebody else and also ask them to steer when I'm out of energy. It's this sort of built-in support system is another adaptive element. And all-ability hiking is part of a broader movement and push for more access, especially in the outdoors. Some national parks have started buying those all-terrain power wheelchairs to loan out for people, and local parks around me just this summer started to get those Grit wheelchairs to build more access. I see this trike and this company Afreda at the heart of my own road in this broader movement to raise awareness and build more access in my own small way, starting with the all-abilities hikes. As you can see, it's not a one-size-fits-all scenario. Someone else might need more real trunk support with something like a power chair, but this trike is what's right for me. It's this rare gem with things like the self-stand mode, so I can mount and get on and off as easy and as slow as I want. The self-stand mode also means somebody can stop and rest whenever they want, and conserving energy in many rests are strategies that a lot of us with chronic illnesses use. It's one of the stronger adaptive elements of this trike. I've been wanting to go to rare spots in the forest, so the adaptive off-roading capabilities of this S8 are so important to me. The shock absorption, the remarkable suspension system, makes it able to actually stay with stability in the ride mode. Those with back pain and other issues can feel the smoothness of this ride. The 40-degree side deviation in the ride mode means I'm not afraid of falling when I'm cornering fast versus a standard tricycle. The S8 new model has 2 front wheels 3 inches each with this wider stance, bringing even more stability. It's not just one aspect of this trike, it's all the aspects together. It's its own work of art. Even the unique sense of motion to it is its own riding experience altogether. It's brought a lot of resilience and autonomy to someone with my mobility, and I want to share that because I see it being really supportive for a lot of people. It's funny, before I reached out more to Afreda, I applied for this adaptive sports equipment grant for the Afreda S8 and was rejected because I didn't fit their specific criteria, but the essay I wrote still echoes in me. I named the reimagined hike a trike hike, and I started sketching this art to try to make a patch that read, "Trike hike on the road to all abilities hiking," to spread the overall idea about access. I also named the essay "The Heart of the Trike." A heart in a metaphor is the most important part that's pumping lifeblood into all these other aspects. So this trike is at the heart of my own aim to make all abilities hiking and raise awareness, and I see the Afreda S8 as something that I can use for so many more possibilities. One real example is I used the Afreda to make it down and then up the hill to this archery range. Then I used it as a seat in its locked self-stand mode to make my own adaptive archery, since standing and shooting for me is hard. I need to sit. And then I rode it easily to go grab my arrows, all of which I wouldn't have been able to do with the energy reserves I have without this trike. It was with me at this adaptive sailing program I started. It took a while to learn how to drive it right, but it brought a lot of self-assurance once I did. We drove it along the lake, we stopped at the planetarium, we rode it to the botanic gardens where I stopped and rested and saw this carillon. It's an organ attached to these bells that you can play. There's only a few of them in the world. We rode it back along the trails to this lagoon where we actually put in an inflatable boat and ended up seeing these 3 baby raccoons and their mama. It's reconnected me with wild animals. We saw this chipmunk that came to hang out with the Afreda when we stopped and rested in the Japanese gardens. Or this deer along the trail, the turtles we stopped to see below, and the baby geese we stopped, all with the self-stand mode. I was able to breathe in the fresh air, look at the sun glinting off the water, or as we rushed past waterfalls. I even ended up bringing it into the International Museum of Surgical Science. It folded up so easily, and we rolled it in the small elevator with the special tail wheel it has into the disability art show we had there. It's at the heart of art, animals, and so many more adventures. I have plans to go camping and use one of the 2 batteries as a power bank to keep all my devices charged. It's amazing, so there may be more videos to come showing the Afreda S8 and its accessories for triked out adventures with access. There's this old iron mill that I want to take it to trike hike to and go adaptive rock climbing out there. Or the wagon attachment to haul firewood to these big stone circles to make a bonfire. On the road to more all abilities adventures.